Welcome back to the morning show. It's Wise Guy Wednesday. We're joined by Matt Sellen, who's going to, assuming that we can connect the bat to the ball, show us how to enhance our hitting prowess. Thanks, Matt.
Well,
how do we do this?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, there's a very simple way to do it. If you want to hit the ball farther, people know this, you can use an aluminum bat. Okay. And of course, that's why these things are outlawed in the majors, I believe, is because you can actually hit a ball farther with an aluminum bat. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Aluminum, this thing is hollow, and the aluminum bat itself kind of flexes a little bit and gives a little bit, and when it's like it's called a trampoline effect, actually. So when the ball hits it, the bat squishes a little bit, and then the bat unsquishes, and it sort of gives
pushes the ball.
Right, so it actually gives some of the energy back to the ball, so you can hit farther with an aluminum bat. And in fact,
corked an aluminum bat, it's out of town, right?
Well, I think they're already pretty hollow. There's not much inside it. So that brings up a good question, actually. So what are the ingredients in hitting a ball far? And so you have to swing the bat fast. That's a big ingredient.
Right.
But you can't completely swing it fast and not have any mass left at the outside. So, for example, you know that as a golfer, maybe, the way that you hit a ball farther is you get a driver. And what's the difference between a driver and the other club? It's got a big fat end to it that weighs more. And so somehow the weight at the end is also important. And so that brings up the question, if you take a bat and you hollow it out, like the one that I have right here, what's been done is what's done when people, quote-unquote, cork bats, is you take a drill about 10 inches deep, about an inch wide. You have an empty cylinder inside the bat, and then you fill this thing up with cork, and I believe the cork is just so that it doesn't sound like it's hollow. So it basically, you can fool people into thinking you haven't done this.
Aren't you losing weight, though?
Well, that's the thing. So it's a bit lighter, so you can swing it a bit faster, but you've also lost a bit of weight. And so there is a real question about whether or not you've gained very much by doing this.
You would have to swing a certain amount faster to compensate for the loss of the weight.
That's correct. And so people, I guess some people believe you do swing that extra little bit faster to compensate for the loss of weight, and some people don't. And I've talked over the last few days to a real expert at this, which is one of my colleagues, Professor Alan Nathan, who is a physicist, a nuclear physicist, who's also a real expert in baseball. And so he thinks it's kind of a wash. He's not convinced that actually hollowing this thing out gives you a big advantage.
So you're basically breaking even with your faster swing.
The weight you lose here, you're trying to make up for in your swing.
Right, but what it does do, though, is since it is just a little bit lighter, you have a little bit more control over the bat when you swing it. And so that can make a difference, because there's all kinds of finesse involved in hitting the ball. You have to hit it in just the right way, and so by having it just a bit lighter, you have a little bit more control, and so maybe that's why people tend to hit a little bit farther when you have a bat which is lighter at the end.
But wouldn't that benefit people that were not long ball hitters?
I believe that would be the case, right. And so I'm not an expert at this, so I'm
My question is, did the guy who first corked a bat think all this through, or did he just drill a hole in it and go?
I have no idea. You know, I think he just drilled a hole and went, and probably, you know, there's some you psych yourself up, you think, oh, I've got this cool bat now, maybe I'm going to hit it a little farther. There's a lot of mind games in this, too.
The unknown story was they really used it to hold the beer. They put beer at the top of the bat, took a slug.
So what do we got going for next week?
Okay, so next week I'm going to come back and talk about why the sky is blue, unless some other interesting question comes up. This question was sent by Jerry in Champaign, actually, and so I want to give him a T-shirt, and I want people to send more questions in. So we're going to do the blue sky next week, and then the week after, it's whoever sends me the best question and who gets a T-shirt for that week.
Okay, and you can link to Matt from our website, wcia.com. We'll be back.